Creators, in this episode, we have Orel from Ovio, and we discuss gaming and Web3 gaming specifically, best practices, in game economies, and is really the future of gaming decentralized. So stick with us to the end and see you inside.
You're listening to the Web3 Creators Podcast, where we speak to the brightest minds and builders in crypto, DeFi, NFTs, and the metaverse. Our goal is to give you the absolute best tools for building a thriving business in the Web3 space. Now, here's your host, Hernan Arver. Let's start creating.
Creators, welcome back to another episode of the Web3 Creators Podcast. Today, I have with me Orel from Ovio, and we're going to kick things off. How are you feeling, Orel? How are you today?
I'm excited to be here every time.
Where are you joining us from?
If you know Herzliya, close to Tel Aviv, close to the ocean, close to the sea. We don't have
It's
ocean.
not far from
in Israel.
Netanya, so we should meet up for coffee.
Yeah, absolutely.
Next
Netanya is now
episode,
someplace.
we do this live, okay? On a
Promise. Yeah, it's a good idea. Yeah,
That's
totally.
great. All right. So before we get into gaming, which I think is going to be our central part of our conversation today, tell us a bit about you. Let our audience know where were your background. How do you come into
Well,
crypto and NFTs?
well, first of all, I'm almost 42 years old. I got three kids, three small kids. Before I've started OVO with actually my commanding officer in the army. We served together. I had like an abstract idea of why gaming is not that efficient. And because I came from the financial markets, credits, investments, and so on, I kind of looked at it. I looked at games a bit differently, regardless of crypto or blockchain. Just traditional gaming. He worked in 888. It's a very huge, familiar gaming company. So I just threw him the idea, and 3 or 4 months later, here we are, opening Ovio.
Well, about 888, they were doing mainly like gambling games, like online casinos and stuff, or was
Yeah,
it
they
broader?
call it like social gaming, real-time money gaming. Uh, but I'm not into that. Ovio is not into that at all. We are into video games, fun games, not play to earn. We'll talk about it later. Not earn to play, earn to
Yeah,
play
I
for
was
fun.
just discussing a
Just play
very
for
big
fun.
difference between play to earn and play and earn. With
Yeah, that's
because I think the crux of gaming has to be people coming in for the game itself, for the experience, and not
exactly.
like
Yeah,
I think what we saw with Axie Infinity was that for a lot of people, the Philippines, that when it becomes sustainable like income from the game, that
yeah,
became a job, and you had farms of people coming in, doing the battles and whatever, but working it like a job instead of going in for the game to have fun.
totally. So Ovio is Ovio is for fun games. If we just like jump into that conversation about play and earn and play to earn and all the evolution of how blockchain games actually started, is that blockchain, as I see it, is started as a financial stimulation, or how we can create transaction volume, into crypto. And Axie Infinity was the pioneering of enabling financial stimulation into gaming. That is why they call it play to earn. You have to actually like play games. I don't call it games because I don't see the fun of Axie Infinity. I'm sorry about that. Um,
Oh,
but
the
a lot of people
concept,
does. A lot of
is
people
fun,
does.
battling other avatars, and in concept is fun.
Yeah, but if you have to invest thousands of dollars to buy your first NFT in order to play, it's like a closed uh, closed club for
Yeah,
only specific
VIP,
VIP. Yeah, with
exclusive ecosystem.
exclusive. Yeah, exactly. So traditional gaming, fun games are eventually a free to play. We're not talking about those like AAA games we play on PC or in console. But first of all, games are meant to be fun. With the self-sustained economy, without any financial stimulation to attract traders and capitalists to capitalize out of it. That's the big issue, the big problem in blockchain games. But I think the last crisis, what we've seen is that there isn't any more like, no, there are, but blockchain games are going into like the Web 2.5 games,
Mm.
traditional game with fun, with a self-sustained economy, which on top they added the ability to own your tokens. So we
Mhm.
had play to
And your
earn.
in-game assets, right? Like
Yeah,
we can also like the NFTs. Like if you get a sword or a different, accolade.
yeah.
Um, uh, well, the concept is amazing, but let's speak a bit about more about Orel, okay? Because before Ovio, you were a credit risk specialist. Can you?
Exactly. Yeah. What it means is that investors, funds, in hedging funds, institutions came to our team in the bank, asked for credit in order to invest in the capital markets, bonds, IRAs, derivatives, everything you've seen in TV, actually.
Mhm, mhm,
And we built a structure for them, all kinds of financials. Uh, um, um, Investments for them to get that extra alpha on their investments.
uh-huh.
Um,
Okay,
and
let's do an exercise,
yeah,
and then let's test you there. If you would have been presented with the FTX slash Alameda balance sheet for you to assess
oh
their
my God.
credit risk, would have you issued some kind of statement or warning to?
If FTX slash Almeida were a public traded company, that means that their balance sheet were publicly available,
Mhm.
then we wouldn't have seen that huge hole that they created. Um,
Was it,
but
or was it created in hindsight? Because in hindsight we're all smart. We all said, "Oh, how could everyone be so dumb?" But Sequoia, Anderson Horowitz, they're not where they are because of being dumb, right? So
no,
it's not that it's we're talking about the leading VCs, not only in this space but in general tech industry, that got duped. So it's hard to say. Yeah, obviously that was a.
everybody's smarter afterwards. So I think 2020 after the COVID, there was like a big buzz around gaming, around crypto, around everybody want to take a bite out of it. They didn't. I don't think they checked under the hood. Just didn't want to miss the party. That's the. This is how bubbles burst eventually. People don't check. Others like me, just follow Sequoia, follow the leaders. We trust them
Mhm.
until the bubble burst. But that's okay. In order to more sustainable businesses and for the crypto and blockchain to evolve, um, crisis should be. The strong should prevail. And we've seen it on '08, I think, after the financial crisis. We've seen it on 2019 with COVID. Uh, Businesses have to evolve. Crises are good. Cleaning up the closet, and I do
Well,
believe after
in
that,
hindsight, when they're happening, it does feel like it is a stressful time. But I agree with you. Warriors are forged in the battlefield in the
exactly.
crux of battle. So I agree with you there. And now let's drive us a bit back into
Yeah,
gaming and NFTs. So listen, I think there's a big issue with our space because whenever I hear a discussion about gaming in crypto, the general take that I get is like, gaming is it's not quite there yet. And I don't know if the main issue is the user experience, which is cumbersome, to say the least, in terms of
Yeah,
opening a wallet, getting the whole getting ramped up with your, MetaMask is like it's a standard, but
yeah.
between us, it's not how we're onboarding Web
It's
two
not
into.
how it should be. It's not how it should be.
Or or is it the fact that is it a more fundamental fact that we're crypto bros and the crypto industry trying to build gains where AAA gaming studios have been working on that for decades, improving on those games, and we're suddenly being faced with trying to build games that compete with those type of Mario Brothers, Street Fighter, and those type level games, where companies have been working those for years.
Yeah. Um, I don't see it as a competition, maybe an evolution of the gaming industry. Web3 enables gaming studios to actually own their in-app, their intellectual property. Those in-app purchases allow a new allocation of wealth between the community, the gamers themselves that play the game, that support the game, and with the gaming studio. I think that that is the era that traditional gaming is now missing. They're trying to hold everything in-house to capitalize as much as they can from those users. Um, I guess they're probably scared because of the misconception about crypto, but blockchain games should not be um, coexist with the word crypto because it's still a scary word. Blockchain games are games that their economy is pegged to a token. That token is a tradable token. Traditional games can do that as well. Um,
Mhm.
if and when they will enable their gamers to exchange those gaming currencies, I don't even talking about blockchain games. Allow those users to trade those in-game currencies. I do believe that we will see a huge increase in the gaming ecosystem as a whole, PC,
Mhm.
web, mobile, console, because gamers they understand value, they understand the purchasing power of their uh, currencies, and if we allow them to transfer that value, I believe that they won't be scared on even spending more, not even time, spending more money inside of the game because
Yeah,
they will actually,
evaluate the game even more, right?
yeah, exactly. So
Mhm.
blockchain games um, need to maybe to look a bit differently on Web3, put aside the decentralization and the crypto aspect of it. They should try to keep on making fun games
Mhm.
that answers the gamers I don't know, like their visions or something.
Need for entertainment,
Yeah,
but
the need for entertainment. No gamer want to deal with MetaMask or signing in, then accepting, then transferring, and then so many actions that need to be done. And even then, you don't even sure that you actually received or sent that token. Nobody holds accountable for that. Not the
Mhm.
gaming studios themselves, not the wallet themselves.
Yeah.
So it's very hard to get the mass adoption into gaming.
Mhm.
Um,
Well, let me play devil's advocate here for a minute and ask a simple question. We are speaking about in-game currencies and in-game a token that supports the economy of the game. Like the credit type of system or in-game tokens was a concept that existed long before Bitcoin, right? When you were
yeah,
playing games, you were already buying, purchasing a small bag of coins, a trash of coin, or a truckload of coins, and
yeah,
spending your money in the game. And those were in-game currency, which you could buy your new avatar. You could, pimp your player. by the new capabilities, extend your so I would the question I'm asking is, so what's different? Is it the fact that those currencies can now be, like have a market value? Is that the whole thing, or is there something deeper there?
It's not deeper, but more elaborate. So Web 1, people just interact with the internet in such a way they could only read. Web 2, everybody knows. Now you can read and write and interact with other users. Web 3 enables the third part of that triangle is that now you can own the things that you create online. So when you purchase the hard currency of the game, I think, I actually believe that it should be exactly as let's say I travel from Israel to the United States and I exchange shekels into US dollars. If I couldn't withdraw them back or redeem them back to shekels, then it would be very difficult for me to think in advance how much will I spend because I know I can't withdraw them back into shekels. So let's say I will only exchange $500. But now that I know that I have it like exchange everywhere and it's easy for me, I'll exchange $2,000. If I didn't use them, I can always withdraw, redeem back into shekels, and then I can go back and exchange it to euros, let's say.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the whole idea of traditional game is that they didn't enable the gamers to redeem back those currencies that they didn't use. And that is why such a small percentage of gamers actually pay for those in-app purchases. If I'm not mistaken, it's like 3% of
Mm-hmm.
100 users that you're looking for. Only 3% pays, and only those 3% are responsible for over 80% of of uh, of the gaming income. So
Right.
it's inefficient economy,
Mm-hmm.
and that is why I really do think that gaming studios should allow users to own uh,
Yeah,
their
of
hard
course. And
currencies.
then you have players that are spending, maybe they love a game for a year and they spend up building and they get all this accolades
Yeah,
and then they
yeah,
have the
exactly.
first, and then they get bored, move on to another game, and that's all their investment and time and spent and getting this and getting that and the purchases. That's gone, right?
No, it's
Essentially,
not gone. I don't see it as gone. You've had fun pimping your
you
avatar and
had
playing with your
fun, you
avatar.
accrued a certain level, but yeah, but I remember, when I was gaming, I think it was a great game. It's from it has, I think it's even an Israeli game maker with the heroes. I just Plarium, their game with the,
Raid,
yeah,
raid.
Raid.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got to great levels with great characters, and then eventually I asked myself, so what exactly, what, what exactly are you winning? Like all this, you got some great characters pumped up to the max, and
I don't like to put a price tag on fun. You had
uh
fun. You pimped your avatar. You played for a year, 2 years. I play a game called Castle Crash for almost 4 years now,
mhm,
3 or 4 years. I don't know why. I just love to play it.
mhm,
So I don't think that we should look at it like I spend so much time and money on that game, so now I'm losing if I'm leaving the game. What
right,
I'm talking about is that now I can purchase instead of a $5 uh, with that game currencies. I don't mind about putting 10 or 15, $50 within the game because I know that I can redeem half of it, most of it back to my account. That's
unless
the whole
unless
idea.
that in-game currency is being like infinitely that supply is being infinitely expanded, so maybe you can get a bit onto the, for the more hardcore web3 creators out there. We can get a bit into more of the tokenomics of the aspects, right? Because it's a different thing buying an infinite supply currency, which is the model right now in the current apps Web3. Like there's no limited supply of Mario tokens in the
Yeah,
market
for
game, or
gems, golden
right,
coins,
or
yeah,
gems you can buy, and that would create an essential, uh, basically
inflation.
worthless coin or worthless token out in the wild, right? Because, and I think a good distinction that was made. Let's take Axie, because we already mentioned that there was this SLP, Sweet Love Potion.
Yeah,
That was kind of the in-game
yeah,
token
they
that
have like an ERC20 tokens. They like 1155 tokens. They mix and match of everything.
Mhm, mhm. Creators, just a quick break from our episode to do a shameless plug of the Web3 Creator Dojo. I'm building a community of Web3 founders and builders. So if you're one of them or you want to become one of them, enroll for free. There's also an option to take the Web3 Business Creator course, which is really great as a resource. And I'm doing a special promotion, which is Biddle in the Bear. Only a few spots left for that promo, but it's 80% discount. So you might want to make use of that. So go check it out and continue enjoying your episode. So how do you make it? How do you build a solid economy within a game that is also that you can distinguish between, yeah, but this is the actual token that holds the value. This is the token that you're going to spend in the game, and it's going to be automatically generated. You know, so
Yeah, it could be generated exactly as the game developer choose to do. So if you have a fixed supply of tokens, on one aspect is good because you can get a price appreciation of your token, but that's not the purpose of making a game, not to capitalize out of the token. That everybody keeps on forgetting that is not the purpose. Um, the purpose is to attract gamers into your game, and if the game is fun, only then you will see like a swamp of users entering your game, and then we'll see the token appreciation because of a strong economy, of because of a fun game, not because of a fixed amount of tokens to be,
yeah.
that can be and will be eventually like maybe like trying to capitalize out of it, not not relevant to the game itself. So I think game developers should care about attracting users, make fun games, simple onboarding to their game. Don't care about if they have a price appreciation or depreciation of their tokens. This is not how you manage economy. Just by a strong dollar or a strong shekel, that doesn't mean you have a strong economy. But if you have flow of money inside of your economy, that means that you have a solid and a strong economy. The, the, the price appreciation of your currency, that's a side effect of a strong economy. And still you have to manage that. For gaming studios, they have to lack like hundreds of thousands of dollars inside of different exchanges, decentralized exchanges. So they're using lots of their funds just uh, to allow users to buy their token, but they cannot actually manage their economy because now what happens if your token once was $1 and now it's a $10 worth of tokens? No new users will come to your game then. Only
Yeah, it
investors.
becomes restrictive, right? And I think
Exactly. Yeah.
it happened to us. We've seen it with most of the games. Developers are thinking of their first 1,000 or 10,000 users, while we've seen the good games out there. The popular games, like if
Yeah.
we're talking Fortnite or Angry Birds, we're talking tens of millions of users, right? So
No game.
no one's going to enter a game with a 10,000 cash in, buy an
Exactly. Yeah.
NFT. That's
No,
ridiculous.
no blockchain game can facilitate 100,000 daily users or new users, not even 10,000 new users each day that enters the game. No blockchain game because of that token appreciation. But if you could allow blockchain games to actually manage their economy exactly like a central bank would do. If they will see like the token bounce from $1 to $10, they should print more tokens to supply the demand and
Mhm.
allow new users to enter the game and play the game itself. Um,
Or have this kind of dual token system where there's one
I
currency.
haven't seen dual tradable tokens that haven't been some sort of um, crashed or
That's the thing.
manipulated.
They're meant to crash. They're meant to crash. We've seen like with actually with Steppen, you have the GMT, which is the governance token that they're trying to accrue value with. Then you have that GST, which is the token you earn when you walk, and the token that you spend it with to pump your shoe. That's kind of an infinite supply token. You are supposed to take that as an in-game internal currency, not for accruing value. It's just like the dollar or the shekel or any fiat currency. they are
Exactly.
not they're not designed to accrue value. They're designed to move the economy around, to inflow
Exactly.
outflow, to get the things transacting.
Yeah, that is why 100% of the gaming tokens are investments and are not a way of making fun of having fun or to trade value, just turning into investments, and that just stops the game plan, stops the game economy, and that's why we see like gaming uh, getting stuck with their development. They're actually having troubles to manage their economy.
Mhm.
And let's jump back into Ovio. That is why I think that the combination between traditional gamers allow them to seamlessly onboarding those blockchain games, play those games, while still allow game developers to manage their economy with the hybrid exchange that we've built. I think that's a good approach
Mhm.
to bring scale and also to facilitate it. That I don't think anybody else is doing that nowadays.
So let's get into Ovio. Well, how are you guys, if you had to sum it up in just one or two sentences, how is Ovio helping game developers or game studios, either to enter the crypto space or blockchain games that want to get more users or get more adoption? What's the crux of Ovio? Get us into that.
What Ovio does is just filling out the gaps that are currently missing, that we've seen that are missing for traditional games. We enable those users uh, to hold their value, their hard currencies within the games, to redeem those hard currencies that they didn't use, to earn while they are playing with our Ovio credits, which is, as I said, like an off-chain stablecoin. Um, by playing uh, fun games, we are not encouraging them to do any financial stimulations of some sort. That on the traditional gaming part. For the blockchain gaming part, we have the hybrid exchange. The hybrid exchange allow the gaming studios not to lock their token anymore into a smart contract. So they now can manage their economy exactly like traditional game does. So if they have huge price appreciation in their token, they can always deposit more tokens inside of the pool to create a bigger supply and then a price depreciation. That is
Mhm.
one. The second of it is that we allow users, traditional games, to play their games without even knowing on which blockchain, Solana, Immutable X, Polygon, Ethereum, whatever.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
we just eliminate the whole technical aspect of the game.
How do you guys do that? Like and are you developing like a bridge for those assets, or how are you abstracting the
When you
blockchain layer
say
from it?
bridge in the in the Web3 space, we need to make it even clearer. It's not a traditional bridge. We don't wrap any crypto tokens and mint them on different blockchains. We enable blockchain games to develop on their blockchain as they choose so, and we connect to that blockchain and bridge that gap. So we don't require them to develop their game on our platform and use our tokens because we don't have any tokens. Ovio credits in off-chain, pegged to the dollar, for the traditional gamers, for the traditional users, to always hold their value equivalent to the dollar, so they won't suffer from appreciation depreciation of the token.
Okay.
That is one. The second, as I told you, it's the hybrid exchange. We keep the ownership. Our users, we don't use custodial wallets. Every user owns their own assets, and we allow them to swap Ovio credits with all kinds of tokens, ERC20, 1155, and soon with the 721 tokens, as if they were like traditional game. So for the gamers themselves, they know that it's a game token or a game currency, but they don't know if it's on Polygon or if it's on Solana. They just enter the game, swap the gaming currencies, and play the game.
How do you, if I'm going to swap my newly acquired cowboy hat, how for Ovio credits, how do you guys evaluate that? I mean, there's a difference between a price oracle or an oracle that's being used in a highly traded market,
Yeah.
and then how do you guys establish? Oh yes, this hat is worth $1, or
We keep it to the gaming studio to evaluate the price, or the market to evaluate the price of that asset. We don't exchange,
so
or
they
we
are
don't.
selling it back to the game developer essentially?
They can sell it back to the pool if the price in that pool is $1, and they deposit it back into the pool. Then the math created that the next cowboy hat will no longer be worth $1 because there are more hats inside of the pool. Then the next hat will be cost 99 cents, let's say.
So you're doing basically also kind of AMM, meaning automatic market maker
Automated
with
market maker for those
those in-game
NFTs.
NFTs.
Yeah, but I believe that those assets should kept uh, that user's wallet unless they want to transfer it or resell it as their own generated content to different users. I think the whole idea is to enable the hard currency itself. It's like I don't go to America, buy a cap, a baseball cap, and then try to sell it on different markets. I hold the cap. I only exchange the spare change that I had back to my native currency. I want to
Right.
hold that hat unless I can resell it on a secondary market, like marketplaces, or transfer it to a different user. So we leave it to the gamers to decide how they want to manage their assets. We are mostly enable them just to exchange those spare coins that without us, they're probably just getting stuck inside of the game itself.
Right. No, I think that's a very valuable proposition. But let's get the value that you guys are bringing super clear in the open. Drive me through it. I am a game developer.
Yeah.
Let's say I have a blockchain game, so I have my in-game currency, I have my NFTs that the users have. Um, I come to Ovio. I'm brand new. What do I do? What do I integrate? What do I now offer my users? What's a drive me through kind of
Sure.
how you would integrate a new game?
Simple. It's a very simple procedure. Uh, you're a game developer and you want to get gamers into your game. We publish your game on our platform. If it's a web, on our web platform. If it's a mobile, on our mobile platform. We do the user acquisition. We bring the users to our platform and show them, like a discovery platform. This is the games that we are now publishing. We think that this game is much more relevant to you as a user. You can play that game. You buy the Ovio credits, and that's how the game studios receive users through Ovio. We do that
Okay.
seamless with our wallet by our SDK, so the users don't know that what's the difference between traditional game or a blockchain game until Ovio decides, or they decide to learn more. So
Mhm.
we are enabled, we educate them, we help the users to make the transition into Web3 by showing them, did you know that the last game that you just played is a blockchain game? What is a blockchain game? What is a token? What is an NFT?
Mhm.
and so on. So
How do
it's
you guys
addition.
decide? How do you guys decide which games are going to be presented as a new game on the front end and the welcome page, searchable? So which games do not make the cut? Which games you accept? Which ones you don't? How's that
Yeah.
process?
Um, if I could summarize it maybe to one or two like criteria, first of all, it's supposed to be a fun game with a self-sustained economy. So you don't have to buy first and wait to play later. That's
Yeah.
not the idea. Not a play to earn. It's not like a financial stimulation being wrapped in a game. It's supposed to be a fun game. If that answers, that's the first part. The second part is that I think that's the most important thing. Just to be a fun game, a playable game. I
Well,
think that's
that's a good criteria. I agree with you there. But but what is the process? Do you Orel? Are you seeing that? Are you going through the games one by one and Orel says this is a game. This game
no,
has green light. This has red
it's
light.
not me,
There
but
a team. Do you guys have a team? How's
yeah,
that?
we have a team. All of our team related in some sort of into the gaming ecosystem, traditional
Mhm.
gaming ecosystem with over 20 years of experience. So we check all the games. We are not onboarding casino or gambling games of some sort of games. Our games don't require, as I said, an investment before you're playing. Um, and that's it. We don't care if it's a card game, an MMORPG game, or a racing game.
I guess my deeper question is, so Ovio gets big. You got
Yeah,
10,000 games that make that cover those requirements. How do you sort through them? How do you make sure that do you guys have a plan for sort of decentralizing that curation aspect, or are you always going to just expand the team until everyone
I
you
don't
have?
think. Wow, it's a good question because decentralizing gaming, that means that no one is holding accountable for nothing. So at the gaming aspect, I think that we will never, or as I said, we won't be a decentralized entity
Mhm.
because we do want to hold accountable for our users for the games that we publish. Um, we do want to make Ovio uh, uh, a currency that traditional gamers and all kind of gamers can count on to always be pegged to the dollar and not and someone to like go to if you're having any trouble with
Right.
publishing your game or with onboarding into a game.
So
Um,
you do want to become a trusted entity within the gaming ecosystem for
yeah,
gamers to come and deploy the games with you, versus having building some kind of permissionless network that anyone can apply, and as long as they get a audited from the smart contract, and they're not either a scam or a gambling game or they
you
meet the
said,
criteria.
yeah, as you said, there are always another criteria why something to be checked in again. So we decided that maybe on our vision, gaming should embrace the Web3, but decentralization is not suitable for all.
Mm-hmm.
For a small niche, I do believe the decentralization is great. Um, but for the masses, they need someone to account for their to be accountable for if they have any troubles, payments with their assets, actually with everything. So
Yeah,
for the
I
masses,
agree with you. Most of us, most people want that kind of stamp of approval that
yeah,
that this game's legit. It's not a scam. It's not going to.
exactly.
Uh,
Yeah, exactly. Um, for the gaming, as I said, for the gaming ecosystem, I don't think that we will ever be decentralized, but I don't know, maybe someday.
that's a good food for thought for the
Yeah,
team. If you would land the perfect client tomorrow and you say, "Wow, listen, guys, we're launching this game. What would that be? What would be, or else, mecca for the gaming
Yeah,
studio? Would you guys have onboarding? Would you guys onboard Fortnite, or what are you guys? What
I'm
would
an
be?
old school gamer.
Uh huh.
If I could onboard, let's say, Supercell games for a mobile app and Call of Duty to our PC app. Um,
Is that your personal favorite?
I try to play at least 40 minutes a day, at least
Uh-huh.
on the internet with my friends. As I said, I'm 42 years old with three kids, so it's very difficult, but I
I
stick.
know, I know. My favorite one is Street Fighter. We used to play it back in Chema's house, and I'm from Mexico, so we used to get together and we used to play the arcade back when it was just like
Yeah, yeah.
two, and
Wow,
then
Street
moved over
Fighter.
to the Super Nintendo and started playing it.
I had a Megason, if you're familiar with Megason, Atari, those are the first gaming console I had.
Uh-huh.
Uh, wow, great games we had when we were
Yeah,
young.
so make gaming fun again.
Yeah,
It's,
exactly. Making games fun again, but on with ownership with Web3. That's
yeah.
the whole idea.
No, no, for sure. So, what are you guys' plans? Like, are you launching your own token? Is that Ovio credits going to be like a tradable token out in the market,
No,
or what
no.
are you guys? So, what are you guys looking to deploy, or how are you guys calling on the Web3 ecosystem? Are you saying you got a game, come with us? Or are you also appealing to the gamers themselves? Come to our platform, check out our games.
We are approaching like on two different aspects. One for the gaming studios, build your game, build a fun game. Don't don't care about the architecture or the technology behind it. Choose the blockchain on which you want to design your game. Come list your tokens. You don't have to lock it. You don't have to invest on different exchanges. Um, for gamers, uh, just come play games. Now you can truly own your assets if it's a traditional games as if they were like Web3 games. Um, but most of all, I think the most important thing is for the gaming studios, traditional gaming studios, don't be afraid of blockchain. Uh, Web3 is here, and they really, really should embrace it, and um, don't get left behind.
No, for sure. And for the Web3 space, what are you predicting will be the largest or kind of the onboarding point for gaming? I do believe that gaming is going to be probably the narrative that onboards the masses onto crypto and Web3. But what do you specifically think that those type of games are going to be?
What sorts of game will like pioneering the Web3?
Yeah,
That what?
what do you see? What do you think? What are you seeing as? Oh, this is probably going to be the type of games that bring on the masses.
Difficult question. Um, I don't know.
You you
I
don't you
don't
don't
know.
want to you want to pick a winner.
I don't want to. I don't know because there are so many categories. So probably between card games and shooting games, one of them will lead the way. I believe card game will enhance the 1155 and the NFTs uh, as a product, but shooting games will will attract more users. So I
And
don't
if
know.
it's shooting and zombies, right?
Yeah, yeah,
That's the magic combo.
yeah.
So, Oel, what would you say? What do you say Web3 gaming developers to what would be your top three recommendations to give them so that they succeed in their path, bring on users, and make a successful game? What would be your three go to?
Don't think about capitalize on your tokens. That's not the purpose of making an IDO, TG, going to TG. The token is a mean to bring users to your game, not a way to say if if your game is good or not. That's the first. The second of it is to make a self-sustained economy of the game. So let's say you are putting aside the token, the crypto token. Would gamers still come to your game and play and pay for those in-app purchases? If it's, as you say, like a cowboy hat or a land, I don't know, I don't care. But if the game is nice and fun, then users will come. So don't base your game with the token. And the third and last, I think, is that no, I think those two pillars are for me are most relevant.
Well, I think it's been a super insightful
Yeah.
episode so far.
Um,
Where can our audience find you personally, Orel, and Ovio?
just Google Ovio Exchange. Me, you can find me on LinkedIn. Direct message me. I'm trying to answer everyone. I love to talk about Ovio. I love to talk about economy. I love to talk about blockchain and gaming with everyone,
How do people
everywhere.
find you on Twitter? What's your handle there?
I'm on Twitter. I have like 10 followers, so I don't think it's
Well, you have to up your Twitter game, so that
yeah, 140 characters, if not mistaken. That's too short for me. So
Yeah.
probably LinkedIn. It's better.
Okay. So that it's a pleasure having you on the podcast, Orel. I think
Thank you
we
so
must
much.
do a new episode, bring you back on,
Yeah,
and
next time in Netanya.
and I am looking forward to also meeting the Ovio team, and then I'll be happy to visit you guys, see the inner workings of the
It
project,
would be my honor. Next time I will onboard our CEO, Neil. As I told you, is an Olympic
yes.
cyclist, Special Forces commander, the CEO of Ovio. We have a lot to tell.
Yes. I think we'll have a great time. So,
Thank
Orel,
you so much.
have a great week and continuous progress. I wish you guys the best of luck. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. You too. Have a good week.
All right, Orel. Take care.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Please keep in mind that none of what's said in this podcast should be considered financial advice. You are strongly recommended to do your own research and do not take anything we say in this podcast as a recommendation to buy or sell any assets whatsoever.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Web3 Creators Podcast. Make sure you follow us on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, and all of your favorite platforms. And if you're serious about building your own Web3 business, head over to web3creatordojo.com and check out our courses. That's web3creatordojo.com. See you soon, creators.